let's talk about what's going on here in the United States now. We're finding out more and more information about Hunter Biden and the family's business activities, up to and including this the fact that Hunter Biden's been selling off his macaroni art and making a lot of money, His art dealer just testified behind closed doors to Congress and revealed a lot of interesting details about that. Here to discuss that and so much more is James Lynch, now an investigative reporter for the Daily Caller, and he's on the phone. Hello, James.
Hey, Vince. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so first and foremost, this art dealer, George Burgess, or however you pronounce it, he goes to Congress. What I didn't realize was that Hunter Biden actually stiffed him, that he feels bitter that Hunter Biden didn't apparently pay him for all of the services that he laid out for Hunter.
Yeah, so Hunter Biden's art dealer, he testified before Congress, and a couple of news outlets, including the Daily Caller, have reviewed a transcript of his testimony. And he said that Hunter brought in approximately $1.5 million worth of art sales, and their contract terms were basically Hunter made 60% of the money as the artist, and he as basically the person who pitches potential buyers on Hunter Biden's art, markets Hunter Biden, promotes him and his art, gets 40%. And yeah, Burgess appeared to be dissatisfied with kind of how the business relationship was going, and actually a couple of months ago terminated the relationship after they first met in 2019 and kind of hit it off and started working together.
So, I mean, look, this guy, if you're the Bidens, this guy is in control of a consequential chapter of this story. He's selling Hunter's artwork. Hunter did not sell artwork until the beginning of the Biden presidency. He begins selling it through this guy, George. And now we find out that Hunter was stiffing George, not paying him enough. I'm looking at some of the transcript here that was published. He said that it was, quote, a little bit more than I could chew. I haven't agreed to renew that contract now. He said he paid for the art shows. And he said, quote, I'm still bitter about a lot of that stuff. I took a gamble and it didn't really pay off. So that's one of the reasons I haven't really renewed the contract. I had to do all the framing. I had to do all the shipping. I had to expedite it. And apparently he had to eat the costs, and Hunter never made good on paying him.
Yeah, Burgess, he did a lot of work for Hunter Biden, not only with eating up the costs, but for a long period of time trying to promote Hunter Biden's art as much as he possibly could. And not even because he's a hardcore Democrat or anything, but he was telling the lawmakers that he actually believed in Hunter Biden and wanted to help him out. He was actually inspired by his whole addiction story. So this isn't somebody with an axe to grind, and this isn't somebody with a political agenda. This is simply a person who was stiffed by Hunter Biden and did his best to help out somebody who we thought had potential.
How did Burgess come into contact with Hunter? Who began that relationship?
So Burgess was introduced to Hunter Biden by Lynette Phillips. She's a big-time Hollywood producer, and she's active in Democratic politics. They were introduced around the summer of 2019, and they basically built a relationship. And then, as you said, Vince, the first sale of Hunter Biden's art happened in December of 2020, right after his father was elected president. And then the sales continued after Joe Biden's inauguration and over the coming years.
So Hunter never sold a single piece of art until his father was elected president?
Yeah, Burgess, according to Hunter's art dealer, he wasn't aware of anything that Hunter Biden had sold in terms of art until Joe Biden had been elected president. The first art sale comes shortly thereafter.
Yeah, it was January of 2021 that the New York Times had a big glow up of Hunter Biden, big piece laying out how, he's selling art now. Look at the First Son. And they had glossy photos. It was a very exciting thing that Hunter Biden was now selling art and producing it in a studio in California. Hunter, this seemed like kind of a new chapter in his life that suddenly emerged as his father was elected president.
Yeah, it's definitely been portrayed that way. Hunter kind of he is portrayed in the New York Times and friendly outlets to the Democratic Party as a drug addict who's being unfairly demonized, who recovered, and he's settled down and he's selling his artwork, and he's a real and serious artist who's not only getting attention because of his father's last name, but we know that Democratic Party donors bought substantial portions of Hunter Biden's artwork.
Yes. All right, let's talk about that. Among the donors who bought Hunter Biden's artwork, happens to be the very same guy who paid off all of Hunter Biden's debt. This guy, Kevin Morris. And so let's just get into the details here. How much money did Kevin Morris give to the Biden family? And then how much did he pay, so to speak, for Hunter Biden's artwork?
Yeah, so Kevin Morris paid off approximately $2 million of Hunter Biden's overdue taxes, and in total has given Hunter Biden about $4.9 million over, I believe it's from 2020 to 2022 or 2023, to support his lifestyle. Morris was paying for things like the rent on Hunter Biden's home in California, and Morris is showing up next to Hunter Biden at the House Oversight Committee's contempt hearing. And now we know that Morris paid $875,000 worth, or $875,000 for Hunter Biden's art out of the $1.5 million total in sales. And we also now know from Burgess that there was a strange payment structure for the artworks, in the sense that in all of the other transactions involving Hunter Biden, Burgess would receive the entire fee for the art, and then he would distribute it to Hunter Biden. He would distribute Hunter Biden's portion of it and distribute the rest of it to the gallery in accordance with the terms of their contract. But for Morris's purchase, Morris simply paid Burgess the commission, and then Burgess had no idea what happened to the rest of the 60% that was supposed to go towards Hunter. And Burgess believes that Hunter Biden and Morris set up an arrangement where the art purchase is used by Hunter Biden to pay off some of his debt to Morris, because Morris apparently paid for Hunter Biden's expenses and taxes in the form of loans.
This is all hypothetical on my part, but I'm just putting the pieces together. So Kevin Morris, a big Democrat donor, meets Hunter Biden at a Democrat event in 2020, correct?
Yeah, Morris meets Hunter Biden in late 2019, early 2020.
Okay.
And
excuse me, you're right. 2019. That makes sense. This is in the heat of the presidential campaign. He meets Hunter Biden, realizes that the Biden family has a huge financial liability on their hands. Hunter Biden owes a lot of money to the IRS, and he's a rich guy who wants to see Joe Biden elected so he can make that happen. So he comes in and says, okay, I'm going to pay off all of your debt. We're going to classify it as a loan. You are a ne'er-do-well who's incapable of actually generating an income to pay me back. So we're going to come up with a scheme here, and the scheme is this. You are going to create art. You're going to make a bunch of art, and then we're going to put it up for auction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy it. I'll buy it from you. And instead of exchanging cash, I'll just forgive your debt through all of this artwork, and then problem solved. I mean, I know James, as a reporter, you can only go so far in terms of your conclusions here, but boy, that sure seems like what I'm staring at.
Yeah, that appears to be a very feasible theory, given that Hunter Biden's art dealer believes Morris did in fact use the art to help Hunter Biden pay off the debt that he owed to Morris for the loans that you talked about. And in terms of Morris helping out Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's presidential campaign with what was a major liability at the time, there are emails now, thanks to the IRS whistleblowers, showing that Morris was well aware of the risks surrounding Hunter's overdue taxes and was urging Hunter Biden's accountant to make sure that they got those filed and they got those paid. And this was happening in early 2020 as the Democratic primary was heating up, and there was renewed scrutiny being paid onto Hunter Biden because of his business dealings and because of his debauchery and his lifestyle.
Yeah.
So Morris was well aware of what he was doing, and the IRS whistleblowers believe that there was kind of a campaign finance component to what Morris was doing for Hunter Biden. And we know from the IRS whistleblowers that Jim Biden, Hunter Biden's uncle and business associate, thanked Morris on behalf of the family for what he did for Hunter Biden.
Yeah. One other big piece that bears mentioning is that Hunter Biden owned a stake in an equity stake in a Chinese firm as his father became president of the United States. He continued to have that equity stake well into the Biden presidency. But places like the New York Post, the Daily Caller, and others were asking questions like, hey, when is Hunter Biden going to divest from this thing? That seems like a massive conflict of interest. The son of the president of the United States owns a stake in a big Chinese firm. And when he finally did divest, who did he divest to, James Lynch?
Kevin Morris appears to have taken on the stake in the Chinese firm.
This guy is playing a pretty important role in this saga, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a pretty central character at this point. He was sitting right next to Hunter Biden, as I was saying, on Wednesday, and he's filming a documentary about Hunter Biden's life. So Morris is a very important figure, a lesser-known figure in the entirety of the Hunter Biden saga.
How much do you want to bet that the fee that he's going to pay to Hunter Biden for his involvement in the documentary will be the balance of the debt that Hunter owes to Kevin Morris?
Yeah, he definitely might do that. I think in terms of Morris and Hunter Biden's financial relationship, that's definitely an area where more investigative activity needs to take place.
All right, one real quick, some other Hunter Biden headlines coming out. We see that the Department of Justice has now, for the first time, acknowledged the legitimacy of the Hunter Biden laptop. Why did that take so long?
Yeah, the Department of Justice, in a response motion yesterday, acknowledged that the laptop was obtained in 2019, and it was cross-referenced with Hunter Biden's iCloud account, and that allowed them to verify the laptop, which is the same thing that IRS whistleblower Gary Shapley testified about. Shapley said that in November of 2019, the FBI authenticated the contents of Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop by matching it to the iCloud account, which investigators had come up on before that. They had obtained a search warrant to look into what was on the iCloud account because they believed that there was potential tax issues involved there. And so the DOJ said in a motion yesterday that the laptop had been authenticated based on the Apple iCloud account, confirming what has been known for a long time, that the archive on Hunter Biden's abandoned laptop is completely real and completely authentic.
In other words, Joe Biden lied on a 2020 debate stage, and then many Democrats after that continued to lie about the legitimacy of the laptop and the data on that computer.
Yes, Joe Biden lied on the debate stage based on a letter signed by 51 former intelligence officials who falsely claimed that the laptop was a product of Russian disinformation. And Democrats continue to parrot that line. Even recently at a hearing with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, two of the Twitter Files journalists, Dan Goldman, New York Democratic representative, he basically said something along the lines of the laptop archive being a Russian conspiracy.
Here are two pieces of audio for the audience's benefit. Joe Biden, 2020 debate.
There are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage.
You mean the laptop is now another Russia hoax?
That's exactly what.
Is this
that's
where you
exactly
go?
what.
This is where.
One of countless lies in Biden's career. Here's Dan Goldman recently in November making a similar claim.
The problem is that hard drives can be manipulated by Rudy Giuliani or Russia.
Well, what's the evidence that happened?
Well, there is actual evidence of it, but the point is it's
There's
not
no
the
evidence for
same
it, so you're engaging in a conspiracy
I'm glad
theory.
you agree.
Yeah, Dan Goldman lying to the American people there. It's brazen, James Lynch.
Yeah, and they still haven't presented any evidence that the hard drive was manipulated. And now there's confirmation from criminal investigators on the Hunter Biden case that the laptop is completely authentic, and we know their methodology for authenticating the laptop. Dozens of media outlets have authenticated the laptop, and there hasn't been any credible argument that the archive of the laptop is not authentic.
Finally, James, I also see the headline, the FBI investigators found cocaine on Hunter Biden's property. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, they found cocaine on Hunter Biden's leather gun pouch. In 2023, they pulled the evidence from a police vault, and they took a look at it because Hunter is facing 3 federal gun charges. So they took a look at the actual firearm that was stored, and they found powdered cocaine on his leather pouch that held the firearm in October 2018. And this is the firearm that he bought while he was addicted to crack cocaine, according to his own memoir, Beautiful Things.
So they obtained the leather pouch in 2018, and they didn't find the cocaine until 2023?
Apparently, they did not test this powder until recently, but they did appear to find cocaine on this gun pouch that Hunter Biden was using 5 years ago when he was a drug addict and he had purchased this weapon.
Wow. All right. Well, the FBI found it. In case you're wondering what the half-life on cocaine is, it's still there 5 years later. Hey, thank you very much, James Lynch. Good to talk to you as always today. Thank you for digging in on all of this.